Hey there, everyone. It's Dr. Angela. Nice to see you. Today, I've got Jenae Ciuffreda with me today, and she is an amazing woman with 2 kiddos, and I surely wanted you to meet her because she has got some wisdom, and she's amazing. So, Jenae, would you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and how you got here?
Yes, I can. And thank you for that introduction. So I started off as a dental hygienist, and I'm a licensed dental hygienist. Was cleaning people's teeth and seeing kids get braces and then getting really excited for them to get their braces off because it's a huge moment in time for them, and I become really good friends with my patients. And they'd come back in maybe a year or even less later, and their teeth had changed. And I'd be like, what happened? Are you wearing a retainer? And they'd say, yes, I am. I don't know what's happening. So I started searching for answers for my patients because I was seeing this a lot. And that's called orthodontic relapse. And I see patients now, even adult patients that have been through orthodontics sometimes 3 times, who've had braces 3 times in their life, and they still have changes. And I can help them with that because I searched for answers for my patients. So I became an orofacial myofunctional therapist. I work with the muscles of the head and neck, and muscles guide bone and teeth. So when the muscles aren't functioning correctly, the teeth move and the bone moves, and you get something called orthodontic relapse where the teeth are not stable. And so that's how I kind of got into this.
Awesome. So, I mean, the way our tongue is moving in and resting in our mouth has to do with our teeth and our bones of our skull, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. So muscles trump bone every time. So your bones are guided by the muscle placement. And our tongue is comprised of 8 muscles, and it's a really powerful group of muscles. And when it's functioning incorrectly, a whole slew of other problems can arise. And one of them is the teeth moving and the bone moving.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. So give us some basics. Now, we talked about where is the tongue in the mouth. So give us some basics of oral posture.
Mm-hmm.
Where is our tongue supposed to be? And give us some basics.
Okay. So the tongue should be passively suctioned, resting in the roof of the mouth. The teeth should be slightly apart, lips together, and nasal breathing. That is healthy oral rest posture. That is correct oral rest posture. And oftentimes that is not doing what it should do, and that's what I help.
Okay.
So the tongue shapes the roof of the mouth. So if you think about it, the roof of the mouth is the floor of the nose. It's connected. So when the tongue is in the roof of the mouth, it creates this nice, healthy, wide, forward-grown arch, the upper arch, the palate. And that is essential for airway development, nasal airway development, upper airway development, and also guiding the mandible, which is this big lower bone, into the correct position.
Wow. So us being able to breathe in through our nose correctly, and then the lower jaw.
Really the whole development of the face.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Because that can be huge.
Huge.
Right. Yeah. Not only our pretty straight teeth, but right, the whole palate, the bones here, and then the bones here.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got into this because of the pretty straight teeth. Right. But when I went back to school, 18 certifications later, the teeth are the last little piece. It's like, yes, pretty teeth are the one thing you get from all of this, but you get a whole body of health first.
Yes. And that's what I love about you, is that you are always taking a certification course. You're always learning. Your brain is amazing.
Thank you.
And I love that you continually learn so that you can bring this to your patients and help. All right. So now we're going to dig into the pacifiers. So tell us your thoughts on pacifiers.
So I talk to parents of babies, young children, and then my adult patients. We all are experiencing the same thing, just at a different stage in life. And so pacifiers are a soothing mechanism that we give our kids. But instead of giving a pacifier, I really want to ask the question, why do they need to be soothed? And oftentimes it's because the tongue is not resting in the roof of the mouth. They've mapped the sensory cortex of our brain, the homunculus brain. And we know now that this part of the brain gives more real estate or space for 4 parts of our body. Our tongue and our lips are 2 of those parts. when the tongue is down and the lips are apart, we become sensory seeking or oral seeking. And these kiddos are going to be highly, highly motivated to put something in their mouth. And the pacifier is one of those things that we get
pacifier,
kids.
fingers,
Thumb,
things.
pacifier, really anything, shirt, hair. All kinds of oral habits form when the tongue is low and the lips are apart.
Okay, so the real reason is, the thing we're looking is, why do we need the pacifier?
Right, exactly.
And let's get at the root cause of why we need the pacifier,
right,
and why our child can't pacify themselves.
Exactly.
Right? And that's where the tongue is missing from the roof of the mouth.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. Right, which is so important because remember I said the tongue shapes the face.
Right.
So the tongue and the roof of the mouth is going to help that baby's roof of the mouth form. And so if the tongue isn't up there, then we can get a high narrow palate. And remember, the roof of the mouth, the palate, is the floor of the nose. So then they have a smaller airway space in their nose and a smaller upper airway volume. And then we get things like childhood sleep apnea and snoring and, all of these things that go along with it.
Right.
So really, I'm not just saying, oh, you shouldn't use a pacifier because you just shouldn't. It's like a big, big deal that you're taking the tongue and you're pushing it down in the floor of the mouth. And you're not allowing that tongue to get into the roof of the mouth. So instead, we should really replace the pacifier with the tongue in the roof of the mouth.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And so you're comfortable working with infants. You work with the moms and infants. So speak a little bit about that.
So I do a positive behavioral modification habit elimination program. So I'm working, it depends on what age I'm working with, but when I'm working with babies, I'm really working with mom and baby, or dad and baby as a team, finding out why is this baby, so orally fixated on that pacifier, and then figuring out the cause, and then going from there and trying to figure out the solution.
Right. So you could be the team with the parents.
Exactly.
To help get rid of that pacifier.
Right. Positively. Because it can be very scary and anxiety
for the parents.
For the parents, right? Because the baby loves this pacifier. We don't want to take things away from our babies that they love. And you don't want to make them upset and crying, and you're soothing them with this pacifier. So it becomes a very... it's like a scary thing for parents to take that away. They're like, how am I going to do this? I don't want to take it away from them. And I try to provide a positive solution for parents and baby. Right,
yes. And it becomes truly just a habit at some point for the child. Right. It really serves no purpose. And after a while, it just becomes less than a soother. It just becomes a habit.
True. Yeah. And it's a habit, but it's a habit for a reason. Because whether or not their tongue... I don't know. This is where we have to figure out the why. Because could the tongue not get into the roof of the mouth, which is why they needed the pacifier? Right. And then that's something that they're soothing themselves with because their tongue can't get there. Right. Or did the pacifier just become a part of culture where it just went in because that's what we do, and then it pushed the tongue down? Yeah. Right. So could the tongue not physically get into the roof of the mouth, or was it just that the tongue was pushed to the floor of the mouth?
Yeah. Yes. And that's why for my purposes and Jenae's purposes and for our family's purposes, our care works so well together, because she even said, can the tongue not get to the roof of the mouth? So that's where chiropractic care may come in for the child, right? Is there something that the tongue can't do or it just won't do, right? That's two different things. Yeah. So somebody who's under care, that for both of us, your care together with my care could be really helpful. Absolutely. For infants, and we want to catch this as early as possible. Absolutely. Right? Yeah. The first time our newborn, 1, 2, 3 days old, is unpacifiable, right? We can't soothe them, and we think about a pacifier, then that's the point where somebody seeks your care or my care. Right.
Yeah, and this can happen at any age, but the big thing is to educate parents as to what to look for, because if we can catch it early, it becomes a lot easier for everybody. For the baby, for the mom, for the dad, for the whole family. Right. Yeah. Because habits that have been there longer are a little bit harder to break.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you would tell people how they can get a hold of you, and website information, where your office is.
Yeah. I'm located in Escondido, and I see patients in person and via online. My website is oralposture.com. Email oralposture@gmail.com. And you can contact me via my website or my email. And I always start off with an assessment. My assessments are no charge. It's an opportunity for me to meet the family, to meet the individual, and figure out how I can best help, if I can help, and how I best can help. And then at that point, I put together a program to address the needs, and I develop goals for a healthy individual.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I can't say how valuable Jenae has been for me personally. And I just love her passion. I love her education. I love that she's continually searching. So know that you are in good care. So thank you so much, because pacifiers are a difficult thing. Kids, it's not easy mothering, right? You're a mother of two.
I have 2 kids, and I understand completely when we need help. And sometimes that pacifier can be that help. And so that's the thing. It's hard, and it's a touchy subject. But if I can provide solutions that make all parties happy,
right?
then it's not that hard.
Right. It can be easy.
It can be easy, yeah.
And that's exactly why I wanted to have Jenae on today, because she is so valuable. So I encourage you, if you're struggling with pacifiers and you have a child, you're struggling with anything with your oral posture with your child, or you're even thinking about it, please do contact her. I love and appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, Jenae.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll see you soon.
Bye.